What's up, my friends? John Baruti here from... Wrong way. Baruti Success. This week, we are here to talk about the importance of mindset in business and how to overcome challenges and achieve success. That's right. Channel's called Baruti Success. Stay tuned. I know I've said this before. I will say it again. All caffeined up. I don't know why I shoot these at night and I drink coffee before. It really gets me ramped up. And not only that, this is kind of a mellow one. Mindset, back into the head. The last one we did, what did we do? We did the dark side of entrepreneurship. We're getting real in depth here. Why I drank more coffee, I don't know. Sorry, I'm on a tangent. Bringing it back in. So, the whole point of this video is to talk about mindset and how it creates success. And I'm here to tell you a story. Why? Because I like telling stories, okay? And Sally and Carl, my only audience that's here, they like stories too. So let's ramp it up. So back in the day when I was a wee little child, I can remember like yesterday.
Let's go way back, way back.
Oh, Jesus, sorry. So way back when I was 11 or 12, my father came home and he had this box like this. It was a white box and he gave it to me. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a present. And I said, what's this, Dad? And he goes, well, Giovanni, this is something from a friend at the restaurant. A friend of mine gave it to me at the restaurant and I think you should listen to it. I'm like, well, what is it? And he's like, well, listen to it and see what you think. I'm like, oh my God, what could it be? I don't know. I got to check this out. I said, did you listen to it? Because, I listened to a little bit of it, but I think this is more for you. Now, why would my father give this box set that I'm about to explain to you to a 11 or 12-year-old? Well, if you know me, at 11 or 12, I was, how should we say it, different. I would listen to financial stations. I would listen to PBS and watch the stock channel. I was more interested in reading the Wall Street Journal than I was in sports. I played a lot of sports. I was okay in sports. But I was more interested in business. And I think my dad always knew that. When I was a wee little boy, my dad would bring me to all his business meetings. When he met with the accountant, the lawyer, the bank, I was always, little Johnny with my little trucks, was always there playing, half listening, half playing. And my dad knew that. So, long story short, first of all, I get out my brick of a cassette player. It was like this big, and it was all black with a silver speaker and like 5 or 6 white buttons with, I think it was 1 red button for record. It had a white eject button, so you'd hit the eject and it'd pop up. You put a cassette in there, and I know 90% of you were going, what are you talking about? And the other 10% are like, yeah, I remember that, okay? So put the cassette in, slap it down, hit play. And I started listening to Tony Robbins. What? Tony Robbins? Who's that? Yeah, it's the big teeth guy, the big head guy, that inspirational guy, let's call him. I believe that was one of the very first Tony Robbins personal power cassette box sets. And I listened to every minute of it. I absolutely loved it. So you say, John, well, that's kind of foo-foo and what is that all about? You think positive. No, my friend. No, Sally. Yes, you think positive. But I have come to absolutely believe in, from that point on, what you believe in, you can achieve. What you believe, you can achieve. And I know I make fun of that, but and I probably lost half of you. Please, just stick with me for a couple of seconds. I really, really believe this. And the reason being is this. Again, I always talk about my friends. I always talk about business associates. I have a lot of them because I've been in a wholesale bakery, so I was around a lot of people. The most successful people I know, the most successful people are positive people, or were positive people and became a little skeptical, right? And that being said, I think they forget how they got to the point that they are now. Because even though business is hard, having a positive attitude as an entrepreneur it's imperative. And now as we get older, you might be skeptical, you might be beaten up from customers, you might be dragged through the mud, but you have to remember what got you here. My friends and my acquaintances have to remember, I remember what got me here. Am I the go-lucky, I'm always happy? No. That being said, I was always not the grass is greener. That's the wrong statement. I was always tomorrow's going to be better. And today was miserable, but tomorrow can only be better. Having that type of mindset is amazing. I want to come back to the Tony Robbins stuff. So I started listening to these tapes, and around 11 or 12, I was recruited by one of my coaches, Coach Brunner. Love him. If he's still around, and God, if he listens to this, you're the most awesome person in the world, Coach Brunner. All my coaches were phenomenal people. Coach Brunner grabbed me and said, listen, you're going to wrestle, you're going to do shot put, you're going to do all these things, because I was one of the biggest kids in school, right? And I can remember going to one of my first tournaments after listening to this cassette tape. And, I'm throwing and I'm doing okay, but I listened to this cassette tape. There was a tournament going on, and I know this is going to sound, I don't think it's stupid, but it's going to sound woo-woo. After listening to this, I went up to the circle, and I just felt, I felt different. I threw this freaking shot put so far, for me, it was my personal best. It wasn't an Olympic thing or anything, but for me, it was my personal best after throwing the shot put, hundreds of times in after school and in gym. And that was the first time I realized it matters what I think. Like, how is it yesterday I threw, let's call it 25 feet. And today I threw 32 feet because I felt good. I was thinking positive. I could see the ball going to a certain place. I did all the things the tape was telling me, envision things and think about it and, not make believe, but really put yourself in the winner's circle and like you've done it a million times and, all the accolades and all these things. And I'm like, holy Christ, this really does matter. So from that point on in my life, I knew that mindset, what I thought, the things I put in my head mattered. From a young age, I especially being in the restaurant business and seeing some of the transient people that would go through and how miserable they were. And I saw a pattern on how miserable people were and what their life status was. And I don't mean only money. I mean, living conditions, health conditions, just not great. They were miserable and they weren't great. So I made it a point. Again, I was not the most, was I the cheerleader of the group? I wasn't. But in my head, silently, I was thinking of what could be, what I could do, what I could be, how I could win. I've said this multiple times on this channel. I've been doing goal setting, since I probably around that age, because that's another thing that Tony Robbins had taught on some of those original tapes. And I can remember doing goal settings and what did I want to do? I wanted to go to college. I wanted to get a financial degree. I wanted to be on Wall Street. All those things I accomplished. The Wall Street thing, that I got there, not so fun, but that's besides the point. And then as I got out of college and realized, I want to make X amount of dollars. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be successful. I want to do X, Y, and Z. And I would always write those things down. And I wasn't one of the people that would constantly go back and look at my goals, which you should do, and I do more often now. I actually have them printed. I look at them almost weekly. And you should really burn them. First of all, make goals that scare the living shit out of you. Sorry for my language, but scare the living shit out of you. Because if they don't, if you look at this and say, I can definitely do that, what are you really accomplishing for yourself? What are you really setting? Now, that being said, if you set a goal that you don't believe you can do, well, guess what? This goes back to mindset. Then you will not do it. I have sometimes my goals, even though they're big, I'm like, why did I pick that number? I could probably double or triple that number. And believe me, my numbers are big. But I want it to be achievable. And I'm coming into a season of my life that it's not all about work. Even though I enjoy work, I'm trying to have a more balanced life. And a more balanced life means, all right, well, maybe it's not 100 million that I want. Maybe it's 10 million that I want in the bank account for my legacy, for my children, if I pass away, and so they can enjoy life, or I can buy whatever I want, or I can get my house back on my bay because I got divorced, don't have that anymore. These things mean a lot to me. I didn't really think a house, I didn't think material things really mattered to me. I always liked them, always wanted them. But when I had to put my house up for sale, and again, this goes back to mindset. It goes back to this whole conversation. Because I knew this is only a temporary thing, right? This house that me and my wife and my kids lived in, I love this house. It was paradise. I could see the whole bay. I could see across the bay to Caddis Island, the boats coming and going during the summer. It was just, you could sit there all day long, watch boats. It was absolutely gorgeous. We had our own beach, hundreds of feet of beach, 200-foot dock, everything you need on the water I had. And this is exactly what I'm talking about in mindset. I had this house in my mind, got to be 30 years. And you're like, oh, well, it was kind of like that house, right, John? No, it was this house. Maybe not the structure of the house, because I really didn't love how the outside of my house looked, but the open concept, the kitchen, all the windows looking out into the bay, the beach, and I remember saying, how am I going to get a beach at my house if I'm on the water? That's weird, unless I live on the ocean. I didn't live on the ocean, and I had a beach. So, am I telling you, think this way and it will happen? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what you put in your mind and what you keep playing as a video, as something you want to accomplish, your mind figures out how to accomplish that, how to get to that point. I'm gonna go also into a little bit of mindset with my cancer and friends of mine, but I want to finish the thought on, let's call it materialistic things, my house, because it's probably the only thing that I'm losing through the divorce, besides not being able to be with my kids, which is, it's a whole, I'm not going to get it. Listen, we have an amicable divorce, but I'm not living with my kids. So that's very, not happy about that, right? Again, I'll never say anything bad about my ex-wife. She's a good person. We just couldn't be together. That sucks, right? But the house, and I don't know why, because I've had many houses before. This particular house, and I think it's because this is what I dreamed of having. This is what I figured I would be retiring in. This is what I envisioned in my head. Now I have to let it go. Does that upset me? Yes. Does it devastate me? No. Why doesn't it devastate me? Because I know me. I am on a mission not to get this house back. This house is gone. That time in my life, that era has passed. Now I have a whole new era in my life. I will be single. I will have 2 children. I have a whole different house in mind that is either on the ocean or very similar on the bay. I can see it may not be a house. It may be a townhouse. It may be, I don't want to say an apartment, but it may be a condo on the ocean. I can see it. Like every day, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to get. So I don't get upset about losing this house because I know within 5 years, I will have that. How do I know that? Well, because I'm tenacious, first of all. Second of all, because I'm burning it in my mind. I think about it daily. I think about the dollar amount that I want in my bank account within 5 years. I think about how I want to raise my children and how I want them to be awesome people to the world. How I want them to be kind, which they are. Smart, which they are. Just awesome people to be around, which they are. So I have those things constantly playing in my head, and that's what my mind is going to accomplish. And listen, some of you might be saying, John, this is too much for me, too much woo-woo stuff. I'm telling you, Carl and Sally, what you believe, and I mean you have to believe it. I don't mean oh yeah, I want a boat, I want a car, I want a Rolex, no. I mean, what do you really, really want? I want to travel. I'm doing that. I write down, I journal-ish the things that I really want. We are not on this earth long, okay? Now I'm going to circle back to the cancer thing. So, first of all, my father died very early. My grandfather and grandparents all died very early. I've seen death from a very young age. So, I know firsthand, you're not around long. That doesn't get burned into you until something truly happens to you. So when you're being told from doctors at the age of 49, that doesn't look good, John, you got to get your affairs in order, I don't know, I want to be truthful with you, I don't know, this is very rare what you have, blah, blah, blah. And I heard that. Don't think I didn't hear it. I heard it. But to me, I wasn't done. I'm like, okay, doc, I got you. Was I upset? Yeah, dude, come on. Somebody tells you you're not going to be around, you're telling me you're not going to be upset? I was pretty freaking upset. There were definitely days that I put my hands in my head in my hands and what the yeah, not cool. Not cool. But I don't know, something inside me said, yeah, but you're not done. You're not done. And you can beat this. Now, I've watched every Hallmark movie there is, and how many people, I'm going to beat this, and so I am very lucky, right? It's not only, and if you're going through something death-defying, like a terminal illness diagnosis, like I was going through, and how should I say this politically correct? You can't think yourself to live, right? On one hand. On the other hand, you can definitely think yourself to die. No doubt. That's not even disputable. Let me say that again. You can't think your way to live. I can't say I'm going to live, I'm going to live, I'm going to live. The earth, the Holy One, whatever you believe in, if it's time, my friend, you're going to go. That being said, mindset, you can certainly think yourself and die. And this is what I mean. So I've had dear close friends that have died, that have gotten terminal cancer news, that have gotten other, not only cancer, but other ailments. And at some point, some very quickly, they were told, you could see it in their eyes, they gave up, they were dead. Not even weeks from the point that they were told. You could see it in their eyes. My mother just passed away this July. She had COPD. She had lung cancer 20 years ago. Half her lung was taken away. My dad passed away at 49. My mom never got married, never dated. Old school Italian. She came to work with me every single day. Every day. Some days I didn't go to work. That woman went to work. 7 days a week. No stopping her. Answering those phones from early in the morning until 3 o'clock normally. She was like, I'm out of here. And God bless her. But, my mom was a tough son of a bitch. My mom, even though she was tiny, this tiny little Italian woman, she was tough. To see her basically give up on life, and within weeks of her basically not wanting to live anymore, not wanting to eat anymore, that mindset, and I couldn't understand it. I couldn't grasp how somebody so strong in life could do that. But you realize, I don't know, maybe it's a coping mechanism that, when you're ready to go and you let your mind go, your body just follows. That's an amazing thing. On the reverse, I've seen my Aunt Millie. She was, oh God, how old was she? 80, 89, 90-ish, I think. And this woman thought she wanted to die, but she just hung on. Because even though she thought she wanted to die, she prayed to die, her mind wouldn't let her go. And that's the opposite, that her mind was too strong for what she wanted. She's saying, I want to die, but her mind's like, no, you're too strong for this. So she had that conundrum, and unfortunately, it was a miserable few weeks that she had to finally let go. My mom, on the other hand, she gave up. She let her mind give up. And within a couple of weeks, she had passed. Now, I am extremely grateful that my mom in that state didn't linger for years and become a vegetable and have a miserable, and that's not what my mom didn't want. And my mom knew that. She was strong enough to know she didn't want that. So I think she tricked her mind into saying, listen, we're out of here. This ain't cool. We'd rather be up there than going through this. The whole point of all of this story is, I'll come back to it. What you believe is what you can achieve. Your mind is a phenomenal organism, phenomenal tool, phenomenal thing. They say we only use 10% of our minds. I think we use less than that, right? So if that's the case, then like me, knowing that, and I apologize, I think I got off track. I want to go back to my cancer. I was told, not that I didn't believe it, I certainly believed that I saw the mass that, was on all my scans. But for some reason, like I said, I wasn't done. I'm like, Doc, I hear what you're saying. I hear you're telling me not too good. But I guess I don't believe you because I just feel like I'm going to be here. I don't know why. That's strange. I'm super glad it's making me sell my bakery, which was super weird. But listen, I'll take the cancer and the bullshit that I went through to make me do that. And that's kind of sad if you think about it. And believe me, I have those issues go back and forth that it took cancer to get me to sell the bakery. And I'm 100% glad I did that. But bringing it back and kind of bringing this whole thing together. Mindset, your beliefs, your goal system, your belief system. You have no idea how much it matters. You have no idea what you tell yourself, the story you tell yourself every single day matters. The story that you put in this noggin and you play over and over again matters. If you say you're a loser, if you say you can't do it, if you say I'm not good enough, if you say all these things, you're right. You're right. Can't be wrong on that stuff. If you say those things, you are right. If you feel those things, maybe you feel those things, but you tell yourself, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I can get through this, I'm successful, I have goals that I'm going to set, I have goals that I'm going to accomplish, I have beautiful people around me I have to live for, I have beautiful people around me that I have to mentor, I have beautiful people around me that want me here. I want to be here. I want to be the best version of what I can be. I've been okay up to this point, 40, 50. I'm going to be even better. I'm going to be kinder. I'm going to be nicer. I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to learn from the mistakes that I've made. You play those things time and time again in your head over and over. Listen, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to go, John's right. Just do it. Just write down on a piece of paper the things that you want to accomplish, the goals that you want to get to, the people that you love, the situation that you might be in that you're not happy with, that if it looked like this, I would be ecstatic. What does it look like? If you're in a marriage that you're not happy with, but if you wrote down, if it looked like this, and in my mind, it would be this every day, I would be ecstatic. Write it down. And don't be shy. Share it with the person next to you, right? For me, two different people, so we couldn't make it work, and that sucks. But and again, is it the worst thing that ever happened to me? It's not fun. Divorce is not fun. I'm hoping we have a great relationship because we have 2 kids. But I know she'll find somebody. Hopefully he's great. I know I will find somebody. Hopefully they're great. And that keeps me going every day. All the misery, the fights, the this, the that, the name calling, the knock down, drag out, all that stuff. I don't think about it. I try not to think about it. I try not to bring it up because that's not what my life is. My life is what I see in the future, my mindset, my beliefs, the things that I want to accomplish. And I want you to have that. And again, if you think this is one of my crazy woo-woo videos, God bless you. Turn it off, never listen to it again. But if you even believe a little bit, just a little bit of what I'm saying, do what I'm saying, have a positive attitude, don't put people down. Don't be nasty. And listen, we're human. If you do those things, I still get nasty. I get tired. I get hangry. All those things. But now I realize it's happening. I say to myself, John, what are you accomplishing? What kind of person do you want to be? And I change my attitude and I change my thinking. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be like that person. I want to be like this. I have a model for myself that I want to be. When I actually kick the bucket, it's not how many people come to my funeral. It's not how many people, show up on Facebook and, oh, John was a great guy. No, it's how many people's lives. Yeah. How many people's lives did I touch? How many people did I help? How many people, either this business-wise or just personal, just friends that you've helped or coached or hugged or got on vacation with, you've touched those people, including, and number one, my kids, who every day, I work on me. And I hope that rubs off on them, right? I hope my kids always work on themselves. I hope my kids always learn, because learning and doing things like this and talking and going to counseling and just living life to the fullest matters. And I hope, if anything, they get that. Period. And if I accomplish that, I'm good. You know, I'll go up and give the big guy upstairs a high five and say, you know, hopefully I can get in those pearly gates. But listen, if I can't get in, at least let me stand outside and look in, because I don't want to go down there. That's all I'm saying. If I can't get through those gates, but I can hold on and look in, I'm good. As long as I don't go down there. That's my theory. And in order to get there, to be a good person, help people, and try not to be a shithead, and have positive thoughts, my friends. That's it. One last thing. I'm going to leave you with this. A lot of people say, you know, I listen to motivational stuff. I do. I love it. I love taking a shower, listening to motivational speakers. I love on my downtime, when I'm about to go to sleep, listening to motivation. And I've heard over the years, and I've heard people that I admire. Well, if you need to be motivated, you're not truly what was it saying? If you need to be motivated or listen to motivational speech, then you have troubles or something like that, right? I don't agree with that. I agree. What you put in here, what you put in these ears, matters. And if you put in negative stuff, if you put in, listen, is there a lot of crap going on in this world? Absolutely. Is there a lot of nefarious things going on in this world? Absolutely. Are our politics the worst they've ever been? Absolutely. But if you go down those rabbit holes and you follow all the negativity that news tells you, and listen, negativity sells. That's why news pushes it. And you listen to only that, you're going to be miserable. If you listen, I listen to news. I want to be informed, but I also listen to inspirational things. I also listen to other entrepreneurs on YouTube. I also listen to billionaires, multimillionaires, people I aspire to be. I fill my head with more of that than I do of the rabbit hole stuff, of the going down, you know. Is it conspiracy theorists? I don't know. Is there aliens on the earth? I don't know. How is it affecting me? How is it affecting my life better by believing in X, Y, and Z, which is miserable? Am I informed? Sure. Do I want to fully in and engulf myself and talk to all my friends? No. I want to fill my head, fill my life with positive things. And that's what I choose to do. So that being said, thank you for listening to my rant, because that's kind of more what this was, about mindset, about successfulness. Mindset leads to successfulness, period, the end. Don't let anybody else tell you that. And if you want to go on YouTube and type in motivational speeches and motivational songs and motivational things, you do it. Who gives a shit about what people think? I don't give a shit what people think about me. That being said, I don't want to be a shithead, right? So it's a give and a take. It's a give and a take. But as usual, this one went way too long. Sally's falling asleep back there. Carl's already snoring. Wake up, Carl. Wake up. Sorry. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Love you.